Hello everyone, it's David again with the last of Season 4, Episode 22, The Deconstruction of Falling Stars. Might be a little bit of a long commentary because we have 1,000,000 years of stuff to cover. So, we start off, Delenn and Sheridan are welcome back to B5 and having a wedding celebration. Yay! We learn that the Centauri celebrate funerals that way. They celebrate the person's passing, and marriages are a somber affair where they have the arguments and recriminations, get it up and out of the way, so once that's all done, you can enjoy the rest of the marriage. Now, is there a certain wisdom to that, maybe? I'm not sure. At any rate, we see all of a sudden it kind of fade out, and we see display of records 2262, 2362, 2762, and 3262, and current. What's that all about? Well, we cue the entrance. We start off on 2nd of January 2262 ISN Nightside, where they gather a panel of experts. And these experts pontificate on the issues of the day. They say Sheridan and Delenn were just open vessels that people poured their hopes and dreams into. They actually didn't do anything per se. They just were the vaults of people's dreams and desires. Some people believe that about the president. President Trump, a lot of conservatives poured their hopes, dreams, and desires. Whether he delivered or not is an open question. Same thing with Biden. You've got the liberals and the lefties all pouring their hopes and dreams into him. Universal health care, $25 an hour minimum wage, gun control, that sort of thing. So you can kind of see their point in leaders. A lot of leaders are, things like John F. Kennedy. I mean, great president, lousy as far as, personal, morals is what I'm looking for. A guy was a philanderer and all kinds of things. But people thought he was a great president because he supposedly did a lot for the country. But at any rate, they talk about an incident with their son. So I'm wondering what that's all about, if anyone knows. Maybe it's when they found he had a Drac Keeper on him. We see Michael Garibaldi is now talking to telepaths holding him hostage. Huh. Okay, so we get a little bit of a preview of Season 5. They ask the question, was Sheridan power hungry? Well, aren't all people a little bit power hungry? I mean, if you could wake up and be president of your particular country or leader, would you? Most people would take that. I would, with certain reservations, as long as I could be king of the United States and have, not have to deal with Congress. But at any rate, was Sheridan a megalomaniac? They ask, and as they're asking that, all of a sudden, Delenn in the flesh enters the building. So we know she lives to be at least 140 years old. And she says basically, he was a good man. And they're like, you came all the way to tell us that? And she's like, you came just as far to say a lot less. Ooh, verbal bitch slap. We zip on in, and 2762, Babylon 5 has been destroyed 480 years ago. They're recreating records for the current government. Has been taken over by a ultra right-wing, ultra nationalist, ultra pro-Earth. And the other half of Earth is controlled by people who support the Interstellar Alliance. He's talking like something that came out of the book 1984, with real speak, good speak, that sort of thing, where they're recreating the language to suit their needs. Fake news might be one in current times. He said basically the Earth needs room to expand, and EarthGov is split. They're fighting over land, resources, and power, like the Cold War. colonies outside Earth still support the Interstellar Alliance. And Garibaldi, even though he is just a hologram, manages to slip through their system and broadcast the plans to the enemy. And at the very end of this little segment, you see the guy running for his life as you hear sirens going off and a blank of an explosion like a nuclear EMP had just hit. Not so good. 1,000 years, and we meet one of my favorite characters in B5, a brief but a lovable Brother Alwyn. And we also meet Brother Michael. They are talking about the Great Bird, and he talks about Rome has denied our application yet for recognition. And Brother Alwyn quips, a better rationale for the vow of silence I have never heard. And I thought, oh man, that was just brutal. They talk about in their little Bible, Delenn the Third. So, Delenn's line somehow carries on. Does anyone know anything about that one? And they talk about people blaming science for the Great Bird. Gee, wonder how that may be people blaming science for the current pandemic. Even though I can tell you as a nurse, this was bound to happen. It has happened before. The 1918 Spanish/Middle American flu. The Spanish flu that actually started in middle central United States, but because of political reasons, they wanted to blame Spain for it, and Spain could have cared less at that point in time, because we were finishing up World War I, and we didn't want to blame European powers for it, because otherwise people would be terrified to go to Europe. At any rate, Brother Alwyn reveals himself at the end to be Anne LaShock. And they're going to rebuild Earth, though it take another 2,000 years, rebuild it better this time. Kind of makes you wonder. Some people have said maybe the Bible or the Great Pyramids or something like that is from outside sources. So, as they say in Battlestar Galactica, this has all happened before, this will all happen again. Who knows? We zip on in, and 1 million years from now, transmit archival records to New Earth, which I have been told JMS has confirmed is the Vorlon homeworld. And we get a little bit of a clue of that later, I believe, in the movies from Lita Alexander. They estimate Sol will hit Nova in 5 hours, which is odd because most scientists say we will live, our sun will take 5 to 10 billion years to burn out. So 1 million years is cutting it way short. I've heard that maybe the Drak or something found a way to make our sun go poof prematurely. And our sun also will not go nova. It's too small for that sort of thing. So that kind of leads you to believe that outside forces had something to do with our sun going poof. Man turns to a ball of energy and enters an encounter suit that looks a lot like a Vorlon encounter suit, and a ship takes off through a jump point. That ship looks like it could be organic technology. And it ends with Sheridan and Delenn saying, they probably won't remember us in 100 or even 1,000 years. So question is, will they remember you or me in 1,000 years? Do you know? Maybe because there's a record on YouTube, but what form, will technology take us? I mean, it's taken us such a tremendous distance in the last 100 years. Where is it going to take us in the next 1,000 years? Will we find a cure for cancer and heart disease and AIDS and things like that? I wonder. Put your thoughts down below. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you on Season 5, Episode 1.